Have you ever noticed how playing games felt effortless when you were a kid, but somehow feels complicated as an adult? When we were younger, gaming was simple. You come home from school, toss your backpack somewhere in the house, turn on the console, or even boot up your computer, and suddenly 3, 4, maybe even 6 hours has passed without you noticing. There are no calendars to check, no work emails waiting, no bills due, just you, the game, and the pure joy of getting lost in the world. But somewhere along the way, things changed. Now gaming competes with everything else in an adult life. Work takes up most of the day. Then there are responsibilities, cooking, cleaning, errands, relationships, family, and even kids. By the time evening rolls around, you finally sit down and think, alright, I'm gonna be able to play something right now. And then something funny happens. You turn on your system, scroll through your library, stare at your massive backlog of games, and suddenly you feel tired. Not physically tired necessarily, but mentally drained. Because gaming as an adult isn't just about playing anymore. It's about finding the time and energy to play. When you were younger, time felt infinite. If a game took 80 hours to finish, it just meant you had weeks to adventure ahead of you. But now when you see a massive open world RPG, the first thought isn't excitement. It's, do I realistically have time for this? And even when you do find time, interruptions are everywhere. Maybe you finally start a match and your phone buzzes. Maybe you're halfway through a mission and remember you forgot to switch on the laundry. And maybe you sit down and play at 10 p.m. and realize you have to wake up at 6 to be at work. Suddenly the gaming session feels like it's a ticking clock, even though it's harder to find time to play games as an adult. The time we do spend playing often means more to us, because gaming becomes something different. It's no longer just a way to pass time. It becomes a way to disconnect from stress, recharge, and even reclaim a little bit of fun in a busy lifestyle. After a long day of work, jumping into a game can feel like stepping into a different world for just a moment. Problems pause, responsibilities fade into the background, and for an hour or two, you get to focus on something simple again. Exploring, competing, solving puzzles, or just relaxing. And honestly, that kind of break is something adults need more often than we realize. Another thing that changes with age is how we play. As kids, we played anything that we can get our hands on. But for as adults, our gaming time becomes more intentional. We start choosing games that really matter to us. Games that fit our schedule, our mood, or the kind of experiences we want. Maybe it's a quick multiplayer match after work. Maybe it's a cozy game before bed. Or maybe slowly working through a big story-driven game over several months instead of several weeks. The pace changes, but the enjoyment doesn't have to disappear. In fact, many adult gamers start realizing something important. You don't have to play games the same as you did as a kid. You don't need to 100% every achievement. You don't need to keep up with every new release. And you don't need to finish every game in your backlog. Sometimes it's enough just to sit down, play for an hour, and enjoy it. Because gaming isn't about how many hours you log. It's about the experience you have during those hours. And maybe that's the biggest shift that happens as we grow older. When we were kids, gaming was endless. But as an adult, gaming becomes valuable. The small windows of time, late nights, quiet weekends, or a random free afternoon start to feel special. They're little moments where we can reconnect with something we've loved for years. So if you've ever felt like you don't game as much as you used to, you're definitely not alone. Life gets busy, responsibilities pile up, free time becomes rare, but the love for games doesn't disappear. It just finds new places in your life. Maybe gaming isn't about marathon sessions anymore. Maybe it's just about keeping the sense of fun alive. Even if it's only for an hour or so. And honestly, that might make it more meaningful than ever. So the next time you sit down to play, even if it's just for a little while, remember, you're not just playing a game. You're giving yourself a break from the chaos of adult life. And sometimes, that's exactly what we need.